Evening, the faith advisor to the mayor and the founder of the founding president of the 6th Precinct Clergy Council, Pastor Guilford. Well, today we call him Dr. Guilford Monrose. Pastor Guilford Monrose is here. Come on, can we make him welcome? I appreciate it this evening. Pastor Monrose, who led the organization for 12 years from scratch, from ground zero to where we are now. And out of the God Squad birthed the idea of having a national coalition of faith leaders who are doing the work of gun violence. And that started the Clergy for Safe Cities. And we are a force to reckon with. This evening, we have two of our partner organizations represented here, the Reverend Charles Harrison from 10 Point Coalition in Indianapolis, and the Reverend Larita Rice Barnes from Metro East Organizing Coalition from Illinois. And so we're going to have them come and bring remarks at this time. Will you please make them welcome, Reverend Harrison and Reverend Barnes in that order.
Bless you. Can the church say amen? Come on, let's give God some praise. Amen. I will not keep you long at all. I know it is late in the hour and I have traveled a long way to be here, but I certainly wanted to be here tonight with you as survivors. And I come not as the pastor of a church in Indianapolis, but nor the leader of a large faith-based group that deals with this issue of youth violence, but I am also a survivor. My brother was killed when I was 14 years old, and he was 21 years old. He was shot 15 times, and he was left to die. What is sad about this is that he had a son that was 6 months old at the time he was killed. And his son ended up getting killed the same way he did at the age of 23 years old. This is the reality of what we are dealing with. But what I tried to do is I tried to take my pain and the pain of my family to do something positive with it. Normally on tonight I would be walking the streets at this time with OGs and fathers and mothers of homicide victims, trying to reach young people who are normally going to be the perpetrators or the victims of the next shooting or homicide. But one of the things that I decided to do, because there is a hopelessness in many of our neighborhoods across the country, because most neighborhoods don't think that anything can be done about the violence. And most of us who are parents, I have 2 teenage children, I have 2 grown children, but I'm just as worried about my grown children as I am my teenage children, that they are going to survive. But yesterday I said to my congregation, what do you do when all hope is gone? And I was reminded of the story of Martha and Mary. When Lazarus, their brother, had died, all hope was gone. It seemed to them as final, that nothing could be done to turn that situation around. And I said to my congregation, it's been the model of 10 Point, that when hope showed up, Lazarus, who was dead, was raised from the grave. And I said to my congregation, what 10 Point does is we believe that there is no young person, no gang member, no young man that's a part of a clique, no drug dealer that cannot be saved. But the only way they're going to be saved is when those of us who believe are willing to be the light of Christ in the midst of these neighborhoods where this violence is occurring, believing that when we show up, hope shows up. And when hope shows up, then things can be done to make a difference in our community. I'll leave you with this. The group that I'm a part of, we are patrolling 8 of the hotspot areas in Indianapolis, and they have seen record-breaking violence the last 8 years. But in the areas where we are patrolling, we have seen phenomenal work being done. And 16 times since 2016, in areas that normally have a lot of shooting, stabbings, and homicides. 16 times we have gone in those neighborhoods without anybody being killed. It is because the people who were suffering the pain of gun violence, whose loved ones were killed, whose sons and daughters and fathers and uncles and aunts who were killed by the gun violence, decided to straighten up their back and decided to go into the streets and to try to make a difference. I say to you tonight, Brooklyn, that if you take your pain and turn it into something positive, you don't have to do what we do in Indianapolis, but you can find something positive that you can do. We cannot wait on the legislators to change the laws because too many people in our communities are dying. But what we must do is we must organize and begin to put some action into place and begin to make a difference in our community. I believe that when hope shows up, that God is able to do things that we cannot do when we allow the God of our hope to show up in our neighborhoods, in our homes, in our community. He can resurrect what is dead. He can make a way out of no way. He can be our hope for tomorrow, our bridge over troubled water. But we gotta trust in the God of our salvation. And if you do that, Brooklyn, you can make a difference in these streets and turn your pain into something positive. And I declare that God will elevate the work that you do. Let's do it and bring God glory and save our children from this madness. God bless you and God keep you.